Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2011 APWA International Public Works Congress and Exposition. My name is Emily Barta, and I'm sitting here with Gregg Varner, who is a FEMA trainer and a retired solid waste director. So, Gregg, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Well, now, retired, tell us about your career.
Well, I spent about 30 years in local government.
Okay.
Served as a city manager twice, public works director once, and did some other things in local government. And the last position I held, which I retired from in 2009, was solid waste and environmental director for Charleston County in South Carolina.
Okay. And a FEMA trainer. Talk to us about that. Why was that important for you?
When Hurricane Hugo came through North Charleston and South Carolina in 1989, I got involved in what was a pretty large-scale cleanup effort.
Okay.
Didn't know anything about FEMA, didn't know anything about any of that. So I learned, and I learned quickly. Afterwards, I got involved with FEMA and later became an instructor, and about 91 until still now, I guess, have been helping develop courses, write course material, write student books, and teaching at the Emergency Management Institute, which is in Emmitsburg, Maryland.
Okay, so education is key, not only to APWA, the association, but also to you individually. And, you were talking about the coursework, and there is a brand new education initiative out there called the Emergency Management Institute. But it's brand new, yes?
Well, no.
Oh.
Sorry. The Emergency Management Institute is not new.
Okay.
The courses that they have contracted to be done for public works professionals are new.
Aha.
This is a new initiative. The Emergency Management Institute has been around for a good long while.
Okay.
And they do training day in and week out, and they do a lot of really good training for all people that work for local government, whether it's police and firefighters and public works. But this is specific training to the public works professional, and there are 4 brand new courses that are in the process of being finished and being launched.
Okay. Because let's face it, the general public, when they think of first responders, they might not think of public works, which is not accurate. So before we talk about all these courses for the public works industry, why is it important for this education to the public works workers to happen?
Well, to get to the place that we are today, where public works professionals are being considered much more as first responders, has been a long road, a long traveled road. Traditionally, it was thought mainly public safety were responders. Well, public works professionals bring a lot of things to the table. We bring the capability of skilled professionals and equipment that will be very, very beneficial to the public safety folks in the things that they do immediately following a disaster. This training was being coordinated with both FEMA and APWA. So APWA played a major part in producing the courses.
Fantastic.
We need to get the word out here at Congress and everywhere that these courses are going to be online to let FEMA know that we support what they've done to target some professional education just for the public works community.
Okay. So now you mentioned that these courses are going to be online, and there are 4 courses total. There is currently 1 course available, correct? Tell us about that.
The first course that's now available is a generic sort of umbrella emergency management course that would be good for anybody in the public works community, and it walks through briefly all aspects of emergency management, whether it's in the early days of responding and working side by side with law enforcement and firefighters, doing things like search and rescue. It goes through all of that, and it talks about the different phases of a disaster, whether it be in the response phase or the recovery phase, and it even looks at things like mitigation efforts, how we in the public works community can help make our communities more disaster resistant, which is a big thing for public works, because so much of the things that can make our communities more disaster resistant are public works things, like roads and bridges and highways and water treatment plants, and all those things are public works things that make living livable.
Right. I mean, because if our roads and our bridges and our water supply goes down, that impacts the way we as the public live.
Right, and the first course is an overview and goes through a little bit of all aspects of emergency management, whether it's documentation or what things cost. I mean, it's just a really, really good overview that would be great for the public works professional at any level. You can go online and do it. It's very user-friendly, and we need to get the message out here to let people know to go do it.
Well, now, where do we go online to do it?
You know, it's interesting that you would ask me that question since all of my paperwork is over there. But we'll certainly get that. And the place to start would probably be FEMA.gov.
Okay.
Because everything starts at FEMA.gov. And from there, it would probably go to training or education. And once you get on the FEMA website, it wouldn't be hard to find.
Gotcha.
But it's there.
So FEMA.gov.
And it's also listed in the handout that I think is a part of the whole thing for Congress. Everybody submitted, because we did a session this morning, and you can get that information from our handout that's a part of all of them, all the handouts.
Fantastic. And we will put it on the Resources tab on that Digital Pro Libraries Live platform for all of you watching from home. Now, there's 3 more courses that are going to be uploaded soon, correct?
Right.
Talk to me about those.
The other 3 courses are planning, damage assessment, and then recovery.
Okay.
And the planning course will really take the public works professional through a lot of those things that you do really before, during, and after, in the sense of how do we get ready, how do we put an emergency operations plan together, what are the components of an emergency operation plan. And it'll walk you through that. It'll take you through some of the things that, like looking at your community to see where the vulnerabilities are. You know, what are the risks and what are the vulnerabilities? What can happen to our community? Like, are there hurricanes or earthquakes, or what happens here? And then how does it affect us in the public works community so we can prepare for that?
Okay.
And the planning course kind of walks through a lot of those things, right down to the components of putting an emergency operation plan together.
Okay.
And then there's the damage assessment course.
That's the 3rd course.
That's the 3rd one. And all 3 of the others will be available real soon. The damage assessment course walks through the idea of how do you look at some of the damage to a community after an event.
Okay.
Because we in the public works profession identify priorities of things that we have to take care of.
Okay.
If the hurricane comes through, we know the kinds of things that we need to do after it's been here and been through. Well, after the hurricane comes through, those priorities that you might have identified ahead of time are going to change. Because every community is different.
Correct.
And every disaster is different. So we set priorities ahead of time, then we do damage assessment. We know what bridges are out. We know what roads have been damaged. We know whether or not we got drinkable water. And then we focus new priorities. Damage assessment gives us direction for what we do after an event.
Okay. And then the 4th course is about recovery.
Right, and recovery is really, it is public works.
Yes.
Recovery is like when the cavalry has gone home, and the mess is there to be cleaned up, and everybody else, you know, the public safety guys have rolled up their fire hoses and gone back to the fire station. And don't get me wrong, they do great work.
Absolutely.
And I would in no way, shape, or form want to criticize. Those guys are great. I'm actually a certified firefighter, so I know the routines.
Yes.
But when all that's said and done and it's cleanup time, that's when public works goes to work.
Yeah.
And that's not 30 days or 60 days. When we cleaned up after Hurricane Hugo in 1989, it took 7 months to a year to really get it all done. So all these things that are recovery functions, they're public works things. It's getting the infrastructure back. It's building back buildings that have been damaged. And all of that is public works.
Well, it's making life livable again.
Right. And then the other thing we do in the last course is we touch a little bit more on mitigation, and that's those things that not only do we build back, but we build back differently to make them more disaster resistant. So the next time, it's just not as bad.
The great thing about this is no cost. I mean, for all of you who want to go on and take these courses, they are absolutely free. That is how valuable this education is. And APWA strongly believes in educating its members.
Well, and all 3 courses are only about 2 hours long.
Okay.
So you do them at work or do them at home. I mean, most everybody has access to the internet these days, so you log on. You will get a certificate.
Nice.
So it's something to go in your personnel file to give you a little bit of credibility
Right.
for some of the things that you've done, the training that you've done, and with it being free and accessible, there's no reason for anybody not to do it.
Absolutely.
So our deal is we need to get the word out here at Congress. Let FEMA know we appreciate the fact that they spent money to do this
Right.
and develop these courses, and they're good and it's great training.
Well, free, accessible, and necessary, especially as public works industry grows and transfers into the future and, is attacked with whatever could possibly happen in a negative sense. Public works needs to be considered by the public one of the first responders because they are.
Well, and we are first responders, and we need to do ourselves proud.
Yes.
And the training is going to help us do better and better at what we do,
Yes.
so that there's no longer will be the thing of how do we get to the table. Now it's going to be somebody's going to say, make sure Public Works is at the table.
Make sure Public Works is at the table. And one of the best places to see where Public Works works is here at the International Public Works Congress and Exposition. And I know Gregg is very excited to be here this year. Tell us why.
I haven't actually been here in probably 10 years, but I've been associated with the Public Works Association for 25 years. So I'm just really happy to be back. I see a lot of old friends. And to be able to be here and share about this training to help get the word out, it's pretty exciting for me to be a part of that.
Well, there you have it. There is a lot of excitement in the air at APWA International Public Works Congress and Exposition. So we'll see you next year at APA 2012 in Anaheim, California. Gregg, thanks so much for stopping by.
Glad to do it.